Most people think YouTube fame comes from drama, money, or controversy. But Laura Farms broke every rule, and that's exactly why her rise confused so many people. One day, she was filming herself alone inside a tractor cab in rural Nebraska. The next, thousands of people were watching her every move. No flashy edits, no clickbait titles, just dirt, machines, and long days in the field. And yet, something about her story pulled people in fast. But what viewers didn't see at first was how close Laura came to walking away from farming altogether, and how her sudden fame changed everything. Laura didn't plan on becoming famous. In fact, when she uploaded her first farming video, she expected almost no one to watch it. The channel started quietly in 2020 with just a few uploads showing normal farm work, planting, harvesting, and long hours alone with heavy machinery. Nothing felt staged or polished, and that was the point. Then something strange happened. Overnight, her subscriber count exploded. She went from a handful of viewers to thousands without warning. People started asking questions. Was it luck, the algorithm, or did viewers just crave something real during a time when the world felt chaotic? Laura wasn't yelling at the camera or promising secrets. She was simply documenting her day, talking honestly, and letting the silence of the fields do the rest. What made the moment even more surprising was how calm she remained. No dramatic celebration, no sudden shift in content. She kept posting the same way she always had, almost as if nothing had changed. But behind the scenes, everything was about to feel different. Because once the internet notices you, it doesn't stop watching. And the pressure only grows from there. Laura's story didn't begin on YouTube, it began generations earlier. Her family had been farming the same Nebraska land since the early 1900s, passing knowledge, equipment, and responsibility down through the years. From a young age, Laura was surrounded by tractors, livestock, and the expectation that farming wasn't just a job, it was a way of life. But growing up in that environment also came with weight. Farming isn't glamorous, it's unpredictable, exhausting, and financially risky. Weather can wipe out months of work, equipment breaks when you least expect it. And there's no real off switch. For Laura, that pressure slowly built. By the time she reached adulthood, she wasn't sure if she wanted that life at all. She explored other paths, studied business, and considered stepping away from the fields completely. For a while, it looked like she might, but no matter where she went, the farm pulled her back. Not out of obligation, but familiarity. It was the one place she understood completely. Still, choosing to return wasn't easy. Taking on land at a young age meant risk, financial and emotional. And at the time, there was no audience cheering her on. Just quiet fields, early mornings, and the feeling that she had something to prove, even if she didn't know who she was proving it to yet. What separated Laura from other creators wasn't strategy. It was absence of one. She didn't chase trends or exaggerate farm life for clicks. Her videos felt slow in the best way. Long shots, honest mistakes, real frustration when things didn't go as planned. And oddly enough, that made people stay. Viewers weren't just watching crops grow, they were watching responsibility. They saw someone managing massive equipment alone, making real decisions that actually mattered. There were no fake reactions or dramatic music cues telling people how to feel. It felt like being invited into someone's routine instead of being sold a story. That authenticity sparked conversation. Some praised her for showing what modern farming really looks like. Others questioned whether it was too perfect, wondering if the simplicity itself was a carefully crafted image. Online speculation started to grow, but Laura never leaned into it. She kept uploading the same way she always had. And that consistency built trust. Viewers didn't feel like they were watching a character. They felt like they were watching a person. But as her audience grew larger, the expectations grew with it, and staying authentic became harder when millions were suddenly paying attention. As Laura's channel grew, Curiosity turned into scrutiny. Fans wanted to know everything: how much money she made, what her marriage was like, and whether her calm on camera reflected real life. That's when rumors started circulating. Speculation about personal struggles, relationship tension, and private matters spread quickly across comment sections and gossip sites. None of it came directly from her. Laura stayed quiet, choosing not to address most of the noise. And that silence only made people speculate more. Some saw it as strength, others assumed it meant something was being hidden. But the truth is, internet fame doesn't come with a guidebook, especially when your life was never meant to be public. Behind the scenes, she was balancing farming responsibilities with a massive audience. Every upload was now dissected, every pause analyzed, and yet she refused to turn her channel into drama content. No response videos, no emotional breakdowns, just farming. That decision may have cost her clicks in the short term, but it protected something far more valuable: credibility. Still, the pressure didn't disappear. It simply shifted. Because when your life becomes content, even silence becomes part of the story. While Laura's content looks simple, the operation behind it is anything but. As her audience expanded, so did the opportunities. Brand deals, sponsorships, merchandise, and platform partnerships became part of her reality. What started as documenting farm life turned into a legitimate business. But unlike many creators, she didn't abandon her roots. The income helped support the farm itself, equipment upgrades, land costs, and long-term stability. In a way, YouTube became another tool, just like a tractor or combine, helping keep the operation running. That balance is rare. Many creators burn out chasing numbers. Laura took the opposite approach. She built slowly, stayed selective, and avoided over-commercializing her content. That restraint kept her audience loyal. Still, the workload doubled. Farming is already full-time. Content creation added another layer of pressure. Filming, editing, planning, and managing partnerships all happened alongside planting and harvest. Seasons. And yet, she kept showing up, not as a brand, but as herself, which made people wonder how long that pace could last. At its core, Laura Farms isn't about farming. It's about watching someone carry responsibility without pretending it's easy. Her videos don't promise success or shortcuts. They show patience, failure, and routine, things most people rarely see online anymore. In a space dominated by noise, her quiet stood out. She didn't try to be relatable. She just was. And that honesty created connection. Viewers didn't feel talked down to or hyped up. They felt trusted. That's why her story continues to matter. Not because of rumors or numbers, but because it proves something unexpected, that authenticity can still win, that ordinary work can hold attention, and that sometimes the most powerful stories aren't exposed or shocking. They're simply lived. And maybe that's the real untold part of Laura Farms. Not the fame, not the speculation, but the fact that she never set out to be watched at all. One of the strangest things about Laura's success is what she didn't do. She never chased viral moments, no over-the-top thumbnails, no exaggerated titles, no sudden personality shift to please the algorithm. While other creators leaned into drama or shock to keep attention, Laura stayed exactly where she started, in the field. That decision confused a lot of people. Growth slowed at times. Views fluctuated. And yet, she didn't pivot. She didn't manufacture conflict or tease personal issues for clicks. Instead, she trusted that the people who found her content understood why they were there. That restraint quietly set her apart. Viewers weren't waiting for a big reveal or emotional breakdown. They were tuning in because the content felt grounding, predictable in a good way. In a world that constantly demands escalation, Laura offered consistency. But that choice came with risk. Algorithms favor excitement. Silence doesn't trend. And still, she chose long-term trust over short-term spikes. That's why her audience didn't just grow. It stuck around, because once viewers realized she wasn't playing a character, they stopped expecting one. And that's when her presence became something rare online. Stable. The untold story of Laura Farms isn't about how fast she grew or how much she earns. It's about timing, authenticity, and restraint. She showed up online without trying to dominate attention, and somehow earned it anyway. Not by promising secrets, but by letting people watch real work unfold. Her journey exposes something uncomfortable about modern content culture. Most platforms reward noise. Laura was rewarded for calm. Most creators exaggerate life. She documented it, and that contrast made her impossible to ignore. What keeps people watching isn't the machinery or the land. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows who they are, even when millions are watching. She didn't let speculation shape her content. She didn't let rumors define her story. And she didn't let fame pull her away from the thing that built her audience in the first place. And that's why her story still isn't finished. Because as long as she keeps choosing authenticity over attention, people will keep coming back. Not to see what happens next, but to feel grounded watching it happen at all. That's the part no one talks about, and that's why Laura Farms still works.